Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. In this video, I am going to be sharing with you another unboxing from Switch Jewelry. If you don't know what Switch is, it's actually a website where you can borrow high-end jewelry. It's just like Rent the Runway or Bag Borrow Steal, where you are borrowing items and then returning them. This is going to be my second unboxing, so if you want to watch my first unboxing, I'll link it down below. So since I showed you how the website works in my last video, I'm not going to be doing that in this video. This is purely going to be an unboxing and then my thoughts as well, having this be my second time borrowing. But before I begin, I just want to say welcome. My name is Culture and this is my channel called Pretty Casual. I hope that you subscribe if you haven't done so already. I post so many videos on beauty, fashion, lifestyle, fitness, nutrition, mom life, and home updates. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my posts. I will be doing monthly giveaways on my Instagram, and also when I hit 15,000 subscribers here on my YouTube channel, I'll be doing another big giveaway. So I hope you stay tuned. Now on with this video. So everything comes delivered in this black bag right here that you can actually reuse when you ship it back. So make sure if you do borrow from them, you are not tearing this open, but you just tear it very gently from the top, and then you're going to remove this plastic and reuse it again. So keep this in a safe spot when you borrow. Everything comes nicely packaged in this black box right here. This is the same one. I think they probably reuse these boxes. Just opens up nicely right here. You have your pouch where your jewelry comes in, and then all these little pamphlets. These are the same exact pamphlets that I received with my last piece of jewelry that I borrowed. Just some tips and tricks on how to care for your jewelry and then how to return it. I already went over these little cards in my last video, so I'm not going to go over them again. If you want to watch that video, I'll leave it down below once again. Anytime you are not wearing the jewelry, to put it back in here, whether it's on your vanity or on your desk, to make sure that it's nice and safe. So the piece that I borrowed this time is this Chanel necklace. It's silver. It has two charms on it. One is a heart, and then one is the classic CC logo. And I love it because I wear silver. I wear a little bit of gold, but I wear a lot of silver. So this was a nice addition to have for, I think I've been borrowing it for a month now. So some of the jewelry that you receive is going to have some natural wear, obviously from, people who have been using the jewelry in just everyday life. So don't be alarmed, and also don't try to clean it yourself is one of the tips that they mentioned. So yes, it is not as sparkly as I would like it to be, but it is borrowed jewelry, so what do you expect? So there are a couple of things I wanted to mention about Switch that I didn't mention in my last video because I wanted to borrow once more so I can have a really good feel of the program and then give you my honest opinion. So Switch Jewelry, is it for everybody? You might not want to be spending your money to borrow jewelry. You might want to just save your money and then purchase your own jewelry that you don't have to return. So yes, if you can afford it, then great. If not, then maybe you want to buy jewelry for special events, or if you have a wedding to go to, then you want to have nicer jewelry to wear with your outfit. It's the same thing as Rent the Runway. If you want to buy a designer dress and you can afford to buy a designer dress, then you'll buy a designer dress. If you can't and you still want to look your absolute best and feel good and wear a designer piece, then you're going to rent from Rent the Runway. Same thing with this jewelry. If you can't afford to buy, a $4,000 necklace from Chanel or from any other designer brands, then you can go this route and just borrow your jewelry and wear it for your event, or wear it for a month, or wear it for a couple of months. It really doesn't matter. You can borrow the jewelry for as long as you want and then return it. You will be charged a monthly fee. So if you can afford your own designer jewelry, obviously you would just buy your own pieces, or maybe you want to save your money and just buy your own jewelry and not have to return it. But if you are on a budget and you can't afford to buy this jewelry, or you can't afford to save for this type of jewelry, or you think, well, I would never buy myself a $4,000 necklace, but you want to borrow something, then this is a great option for you. So my second thought I wanted to share is the inventory. They do have a good amount of jewelry to borrow. They have dozens of designers, brands that you have heard of, obviously Chanel, Gucci, David Yurman, but they also have brands that you might not have heard of, which is also nice. However, there were so many other pieces that I wanted to look at that were already borrowed, and it doesn't have a timeline when they're going to be returned. You can add it to your wish list, but you still have no idea when it's going to come back. And then they don't have a lot of multiples of the same piece that you might want to borrow, is what I saw. This might change over time when their site becomes more and more popular, but at the moment when I tried to borrow some other pieces, they were borrowed. I waited a couple days and then I waited a week and they still were borrowed. So unfortunately, it comes to my third thought is you cannot pause your membership, at least not for now. So if you are paying, I am the gold member, so I can only borrow one piece at a time, which is $29 a month. So if you are not borrowing one piece at a time, you cannot pause your membership and not pay for the time that you are not borrowing. So for me, even though I wanted 3 other types of necklaces that weren't available, because I was paying that $29 per month, I needed to borrow something so that my money wasn't being thrown away. So I just picked this one, which was available. Of all, I think it was 7 pages of Chanel jewelry that was available, only 1 page was available, if that makes sense. So they had 7 pages of inventory for Chanel jewelry, but everything on the first page was still available while all of the other 6 pages were being borrowed. So it just left me with just a few choices. They have a ton of bracelets, necklaces, brooches, and earrings. I am so reluctant to borrow earrings because they are clip-ons, which I understand for sanitary purposes. They probably just want to stick to clip-on earrings, but I would be so afraid to lose one earring and then have to pay their retail price. But still, you're gonna borrow something, pay like $29 for it, and then potentially lose an earring and then have to pay for something that wasn't even yours to begin with. I don't know. If you want to borrow an earring, then I hope and pray that you don't lose it. The last time I borrowed an Hermes bracelet, and so this time I wanted to borrow a necklace. I feel like at least that way I can clasp it around me and make sure it's always on me and not losing it. So that is my tip if you want to borrow something. Also rings, I just feel like for me, I always wash my hands. I don't take off my wedding rings, but sometimes I'll take off this ring, and I have learned to try and not take it off. Unless you're always going to keep that ring on, or you're going to wear it just for like one night and then return it, then that would be a great option. So those are my thoughts on this program. I'm going to be returning this today back into the mail. And what happens when you return it back in the mail, you want to make sure you put it in this pouch, put it back in this box, and then put everything back in the bag. And then once the post office records that you returned it, Switch will get notified that you dropped it in the mail, and then they'll send you an email saying that your closet is open now to borrow something else. So I don't know if I'm going to borrow something else. We shall see. I might just return it and call it quits because there are so many other pieces of jewelry that I would love to borrow that are just never available. So maybe if they increase their inventory and a lot of jewelry pieces become more available more frequently, then maybe I'll go back. But I also just love to have jewelry that's my own that I don't have to borrow. So let me know if you guys have any questions at all below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys all in my next video.